We're going to start with that spine stretch, that coccyx curl. When the lower back lightly starts to touch the ball, that's when you know it's time to rotate to one side and then come back up. Coccyx curl. Reach. Arm travels the same path. It goes out, it comes back, and we sit up straight. We coccyx curl. Roll. In. Up. Reach. Now keep half an eye on your feet. Flex them like you're sitting against the wall, and try to imagine both feet staying against the wall, because if your legs shift away from each other, then you don't have hip stability. Let's go one more here on the right. Doesn't have to be big to be effective. And the left. Good. Okay. Now bend your knees a little bit more, hands back behind your head. We're going to combine flat spine and round spine. So we're going to tilt back to our flat back position. We're going to curl from our tailbone first, but then also our ribs to round spine, and then come to flat back without coming up again. So we won't come up every time. We'll go in flat back. So we're going to curl and lengthen. Pull all those muscles in. So I'm kind of doing two things at once. I'm trying to think of keeping my spine long, but I'm also trying to curl it as well. 3. 2 more if you can. I know, they're hard. Not so many of them, which is great. You get them done quickly. And then coming all the way in and just roll towards your feet. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale. Okay. All right. Let's do some push-ups. Those are always fun. First we'll do bent leg ones, and then maybe we'll do straight leg ones. It's up to you. You could maybe put the ball down, but it probably would roll away. But if it doesn't and you get lucky, you can leave it there so that when you come down to your position, you can kind of have your chest on it. It'll give you that little bit of buoyancy. So maybe we can get it at least once. And if it rolls away, it rolls away. So lay your sternum on the ball, arms outside the mat. Bend your knees so you're on your thighs. So I'm not with my bottom up in the air on my kneecaps. Thighs. Now from here, push up. And if you're lucky and the ball stayed in place, come back down to it. Push up. And even as you go to it, think of like opposite. Your sternum's coming to the ball, but at the same time you're thinking of not wanting it to actually touch so you don't drop through. But it gives you that little bit of support at the bottom. A little bit of support so you can push up. A little support and push up. And 3. Looking good back there. I know, if the ball moves, don't worry about it. If the ball moves, you got unlucky. Sorry. And come back. Good. Inhale and exhale. So let's try some push-ups without the ball so we don't get distracted. But before we do that, hands and knees position. Think about your hands, right, being on the floor and rolling your arm into your shoulder blade a little bit. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, so we don't hurt the wrist. Think of a suction cup under your palm to kind of suction up into the palm, and you won't feel all that pressure in your wrist. Can you feel that already? Rolling the arm onto the body, suctioning the hand off the mat. Suction a little more. A little more. Yeah, I should be able to see it a little bit. Without too much finger work. It's not your fingers, it's your palm. Good. Now send your legs out to full push-up position and bend your elbows. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep suction cupping those hands, wrapping your arms to your body. 2 and 1. Nice. Sit back. Very good. Okay, let's do some full prone position. So lying all the way down, take the ball, bring it over in front of you. Okay. Now if your back is tight, low back is tight, separate your feet about as wide as the mat. Otherwise, bring your feet all the way together, hands on the ball. We're going to do just some shoulder shrugs. Notice that your ears are right above your shoulders. Shrug your shoulders to your ears. And then roll them away. And really exaggerate it. Roll them up to your ears and roll them away. And you'll notice, if you really exaggerate, how it kind of drags your whole neck up. And then when you pull down, if you exaggerate it, it just kind of shoves your shoulder blades out of alignment the other way. So find halfway between those two. No swan or anything yet, just shoulders. Find halfway between those two and hold it there. Just there. Yep, that's it. That's what we call engaging your shoulders. That's the level of activation that we want to have. Okay, so we got that pubic bone gently pressing into the mat for supporting the lower back. Now peel the head and the neck up about 3 inches and then roll back down. We didn't move anything else yet. Just peel to look just at the base of your ball. Keep that pubic bone into the floor and coming back down. Again, lift your chin and your neck just enough to look at the base of your ball. Now stay here, and as you inhale, pull your shoulder blades back so you can roll the ball up into you to come into that bigger swan, and then come down the lower ribs, the chest, and the neck. So the first part, just the head and the neck come up. Then we roll the ball. Breathing in and breathing out. The inhale is going to help us get up. So the head and the neck, so you're looking at the base of your ball. And then when you come up, you realize you're looking over the top of the ball, but it's not because you moved your head. It's because you moved your sternum or your chest. All right, so I'll talk you through it about 3 more times. So the very beginning, just the head and the neck look up. Now as you inhale, yeah, the shoulder blades come back and the sternum comes up. And let the breath help you get there. Good. 2 more times. Inhale the head and the neck, pulling back with the shoulders, bringing the sternum out from the floor, and back down. And the last one. And back down. Awesome. Okay, let's put the ball in the right hand. Okay? We're gonna inhale, we're going to lift the left leg, reach it back first to lift it up, and the right hand. So we'll be in a very little bit of extension. We're not just looking straight down, we're looking forward a little bit and then down. So right arm, left leg, up and down. So can we have good control in that extension? Up. Yep, so we're going to stay in the extension. The body's not coming up and down, just the arm and the leg on the inhale. Good, now come all the way down. Switch the ball to your left hand, so the right arm just anchors to the floor. So now the left arm and the right leg float up, and the sternum has a little bit of extension. So we keep the torso in a little extension, and we control it, and we move just the arm and the leg. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Good diagonal work through the body. Inhale. Last one. Good. Leave the ball on the floor. Come on up to hands and knees. Again, think of suctioning your hands into the floor just to try to think of pulling the palm up a little bit, and then let's go into that cat position. And then down into that cow position, but not dropping through, extending the sternum actively out, curling the ribs actively in. Sending the sternum actively out, and then curling the ribs in and letting everything else follow along. Inhale, and exhale. And last one, inhale, sending the sternum out, and up. Good. Let's sit back for a shell stretch. So what I like to do is I like to start up high, and then I inch myself slowly back till I find the best stretch in the back. You may want to sit all the way to your heels. I'm up a little bit because I kind of want more of that middle back, not really the lower, but that's where I want to feel. And I'm going to breathe into any place you feel some tension. And last one. Good. And come all the way back up again. Okay, let's go to side position. So we're all going to lie on our right side, so if you need to close your eyes to not get distracted by everybody else's position, you're going to lie on your right side. You're going to face me, though, because then you don't have to look over your shoulder, and put the ball between your ankles. Okay? So we've got the ball right between the instep of the foot and the ankle, lying all the way down, so we're not propping up on our elbow. We're going to lie completely flat. Now we're going to feel the top side of the waist and let it sink into the floor. Now, take the ribs and lift them up just a little bit, not to exaggerate, but just so they're not sinking. So send the hip away from you a little bit, let the ribs come up a little bit, and that's the active position that we want to have. Then we're going to lift and lower the feet. Okay? So from the ribs, through the waist, through the hip, is staying pretty stable, and we're squeezing the ball, ideally. Don't over squeeze it. You can separate your knees a little bit too. Yeah. So you don't have to squeeze the ball hard, because if you do, your feet are going to roll around. Just enough so you have it in place. 3, nice and stable. Good. So that was leg movement only. Now let's move that same thing, so from the waist now. So now we're going to move from the waist, right? So again, we're still holding the ball, but now we're activating the waist, and our hips, in turn, are moving a little bit. It's basically a little side bend, but from the lower part of your body. Okay? Now keep the feet down. Now side bend from the top and down. So I'm putting my hands in my bottom ribs to help my brain figure out where I'm supposed to move from, that those bottom ribs come in. So again, now my hips are going to be steady, bottom ribs are going to come in. We call this one banana. Now we're going to put the full banana together. Lift and lower. And again, just a gentle squeezing of the ball. If you need to, use your hand in front of you to help you stay on your side. Good. Last one. Awesome. Okay, take the ball out from your feet and just put it in front of you so it'll be there. Bring your knees together, and then we're going to open and close the knees for our clam. So again, we're going to have the hips nice and stable. Pulling the abdominal wall in a little bit. Find that active waist position that we had at first. And we open the knees, close the knees. So we get these hip rotator muscles. We don't use them typically as much, but they're very important for when we're supporting our back and standing and sitting. Now open the knee, kick it out, bend it in, and lower. Open, kick, in, lower, open. Last one, open the knee, kick it out, bring it in, and down. Awesome. All right, we're going to come into a side plank position on our forearms. So a lot of times people think the forearm side bridge, yeah, you can just put the ball out to the side, is easier. It's only easier on your wrist. Other than that, strength-wise, it's just as challenging, if not more so, because you have a shorter lever to support your weight from. So first, let's play with feeling our ribs going down. When the ribs go down, notice it pushes the shoulder out. Bring the rib up. And notice how it brings the shoulder into alignment. So just feel that. Go down. Right. This is the position we want to avoid anywhere in our bridge, the rib falling down, because it puts this odd pressure on the shoulder. So keep the ribs up. The other thing I like to do is think of your arm that's underneath you, and as you push it into the floor, imagine you can squeeze it toward your hip a little bit. You might even feel yourself move an inch. That's where you're going to be stable. So that's what we want to hold. Now we separate our feet so the top foot is in front, just about an inch. Now we're going to push up and straighten our legs, keeping the bottom ribs in. Yep, you can reach your hand to the ceiling. Now bend your knees down. Stretch up, bend down. So I'm kind of sitting on the side of my feet and down. Now stay up. Turn and look at your hand. Inhale. Look down at your elbow. Exhale. Turn and look forward. And now side bend. 1, just a little bit because we don't have much room. 2, 3. Coming down. And now we come into that mermaid position and stretch the other way. So when we're on the forearm and we go to the side bend, we don't have as much room as if the arm was straight. So don't try to make it big, but we do want to try to get into the waist. Good. Inhale, arms up. And let's just soften the elbows, let them sit on the body, and just twist, just a little bit. Just kind of loosening up, bring your arms overhead, twist, let them fall down and be loose. You can be loose in Pilates every once in a while. All right, let's go in reverse direction. So get your ball so it'll be near you. But first we'll start with that side bridge. So we're going to prop up on the arm using the forearm. Now if you can lift your elbow and your hand all the way up, then you're too far back and all the weight is on your elbow. If you rotate forward a little bit and you distribute the weight on your forearm, then it's not so easy to pick it up. So lift the ribs up and in, so we have that good position. Separate your feet a little, and then lift and straight.